Hey everyone, and welcome to another great day here at the Fuller Homestead. Wanted to let you know that today is supposed to be the day that we start the staining and the painting for our front porch project. However, as I walked out this morning, I noticed some very cloudy skies in the background. Then I checked out the weather, and for some reason, what was supposed to have been a great sunny day is now a pretty good chance of rain here in about an hour and a half. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a little prep work today. We're gonna do some sanding along the edges. In fact, I had a subscriber, a follower on Instagram, ask me if I was going to have to do that after I power washed. The basic deck is fine, but along the handrails where it was pretty rough wood anyway, it is kind of splintery, so we're gonna sand that down. We're also gonna use some wood filler today that's stainable, that we can fill in some of the majority cracks on those handrails and also those steps. Handrails will be painted, steps will be stained, but we're gonna do the same for both of those. And then all along the railing, not the up and down rails, but the horizontals, we're gonna sand that as well. So let's go ahead and get started with that. Hopefully the rain will hold off. I've kind of been watching the clouds. It looks like it's headed right for our house. So that's no bueno, but we will do what we can do. Not sure if you can hear that or not, but it's raining. Oh well, let's do what we can do. Okay, so the sanding on the top of the rails is done. It's sprinkling still, so I'm not gonna be able to do the steps or the handrails right now. And I know people are gonna be screaming when I say what I'm about to do with all the humidity in the air, but I really believe that this isn't gonna last long. It's gonna dry up real quick, and I'm gonna go ahead and start with the staining all along the outside edge. Now, the reason I'm doing that is because I do anticipate it being really sunny later, and I don't wanna have to be outside with that sun blaring down on the neck. I'd rather be inside underneath the shade or underneath the awning in the shade while I'm doing the bigger work. So we're gonna go ahead and start with that, get the stain stuff, get my supplies ready, and see what happens. So we've got one coat all the way down this side. I was going to show you what it looks like once it's dry, or mostly dry. Mostly soaked up, maybe is what I should say. So you can see how dark that looks on that end, and then of course down here it just drank the stain up. So we'll see by the time I get all the way around what this looks like, if it's too light, if we think we ought to do a little more. Well, you guys had a break in the action and you didn't even know it. My phone was about dead, so I had to go put it on the charger. So let me catch you up on where we are. First of all, one complete coat done here and on the outside of there. You got to see some of that. As it's been drying, I can tell already we're going to need another coat. Now here's one of the things I was not thinking. When I bought that 5-gallon bucket of stain, I thought, oh, that'll be great. We'll put one complete coat on there, but alas, not gonna happen. This is half the bucket. It's half the bucket right there. Now we lost some because the slats are so far apart and whatnot, but the wood just soaked it up. Now I did determine that I'm gonna go back with a sponge once this dries, and I'm gonna go in between each of these boards because they're so far apart you can see that it's not done and it just doesn't look good and I don't like it. So we'll do that after this dries, and then we'll put a second coat on everything and that should look good. On this side of the porch, we haven't really done anything, and by we I mean me, because goodness knows you didn't help. But what I did do is I went ahead and put on the stairs, I did a lot more sanding. I put some wood filler on one side and then ran out. So my wife went to the store, thankfully, to go get me some more stain that I'm gonna need probably tomorrow, and then also some more wood filler for the steps and the railings. But it's really nice. It feels a lot better than it did. Used 80 grit over all of it, and then went up to 120 and then 240. And so I'm happy with that, and so that'll be good. So here's the plan for right now. You're gonna see a time lapse of me doing stain all the way up until the door, and then skip a little bit and go around to the other side. The heat index right now is like 114, so it is crazy hot, and it is no fun being out there doing the outside. So I'm gonna put it off until probably 4 o'clock or so when the sun goes back down a little bit behind those trees and I've got some more shade. But for right now, we're gonna stay in the shade because it's a little bit miserable. One thing that I haven't told you up to this point is that we're also going to be replacing these fans and these lights on the front just to kind of give it a whole brand new look. Fast forward to day 3 of working on the porch renovation project. I'm gonna put some white on the railing today before I put down the second coat on the deck, and then we'll see what that looks like. Should be a nice contrast. So I'm gonna finish up my coffee here and then get to it. Right before I start this white, I just wanted to say this. I went back and looked at some of the footage last night of the time lapse of doing the staining, and I realized how quick that makes it look. And then I realized that was like an entire day and I was sweating, and I thought it is so much easier to sit and watch this. So I'm looking down all this railing and seeing the small pieces and knowing I can't use rollers, and It's going to be a time lapse of like 2 minutes, but it's going to be all day. Man, I wish life was as easy as time lapse. So I got this first little section done, and from way back there, it looks great, but it's just a little section. There was at one point I thought to myself, like, whose idea was it to do this anyway? Because I don't even want to tell you how long that little section took, but I think I've got a better plan. I switched to a roller for the bigger parts and going in with the brushes, but someone should have screamed at me near the beginning of this thing, hey, why don't you do the railing first and then stain the deck? And that way you don't have to worry as much about putting down plastic and being careful and, Lord have mercy. All right, ain't nothing, let's do it. Here we go, we're gonna knock this out. All right, it is time to wrap up this video. It's already gone longer than any of the other ones that we've already done. I mean, like both of them. So behind me, you can see we have accomplished quite a bit, even recruited some family members to help. Actually, I didn't even recruit them. They just came out and started doing it while I was on the phone. So I was like, I should take calls more often. Anyway, you can tell we got a lot of a first coat done on all the railing. I'm gonna walk you around, show you what we were able to accomplish. Let's go. All right, so on this side, you can tell we have gotten the deck stain and one coat of white on all of the railing. I will tell you that I do like the look of it from inside the porch more so than I do outside. These steps are a whole other issue. As I stained on the side, I realized that this stainable wood filler is not actually soaking in the stain, and it's gonna look horrible. So considering painting this, but the railing, except for this section right here, and I think some more on this side. Yeah, a little bit over here, still not done yet, but the majority of it is, and looking pretty fantastic from when we started. If I had it to do all over again, I would probably tarp up some stuff and use a sprayer for all of this, but I did have kind of like a little Tom Sawyer 1800s moment of saying, hey, I'm a homesteader, we're gonna paint this white because white paint is cheap and because we're trying to protect the wood. And so that's gonna wrap up this video. You know, it's amazing how when you take something that was old and gray and dingy and you put a little darkening color on it, how much more youthful and vibrant and exciting and attractive it is. I mean, it's take something gray and you make it a little bit darker. I'll be right back.
You look so different. It looks like a fake beard. It's gonna have to get used to.
Okay.
It's not. It's just weird. It's not that I don't like it. It's that I'm not.
Hi. Look like a lumberjack.
Okay, you look like a lumberjack.
A lumberjack?
Yeah.
It's the top part that throws me off. The beard's fine.
Dad dyed his beard.
Nice. I like it though. It looks really good.
So weird.